Hello viewers, have you anytime heard about a slogan called Delhi Chalo? Yes, we have heard about this slogan in Indian national movement. Who gave a call for this? Guess it is our Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So he has given this slogan as part of Indian National Army's revolt against the British. So now why we are discussing about the slogan is because in the recent times also we are again hearing the same slogan Delhi Chalo, but this is not related to Indian national movement, but now it is related to farmers protest. Yes, we are going to discuss about farmer protest 2.0. Why we are calling 2.0? Because this is the second series of protests launched by farmers against their demands, asking for their demands from the union government. So we are going to discuss what are the demands they have put forward for the union government, and what are the reasons behind their demands, and what are the 3 repealed farm laws which had become controversial in the recent past. And we are also going to see what are the government side efforts that have been taken from the government to resolve this dispute. So these are the things, and many interesting things also will find part of this video. Stay tuned. So here you can see we are going to discuss why it is in news, ongoing farmers protest, what reasons are doing this protest, what are the demands, and how has the government responded thus so far, and what are the 3 repealed farm laws. And we also will understand the difference between section 144 in curfew and whether there is a right to peaceful protest in India or not. So many things we'll know. So this forms part of GS paper 3, economy under agriculture and MSP and cropping patterns, you can see. So now we are going to discuss about farmers protest 2.0, okay. So if you have observed today, that is on February 13th itself, farmers from different states like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, they have given a call that they wanted to go for protest in Delhi because 2 years back, when the 3 farm laws were repealed, Prime Minister of India have gave them some considerations. They have said that we wanted to give these promises to be fulfilled. That is why they wanted to remind the Prime Minister and the Union government about these promises which were made previously, and they wanted the implementation of these promises. What are those promises aimed at? All this we are going to learn now. So who are they actually protesting? So what is a protest actually about? Means mainly 2 organizations, you can say here, different farmer unions under the banner of Kisan Mazdar Morcha. This is one of the organization, and you have Samyukta Kisan Morcha. This is another organization with almost 150 farmer unions. You can see 250 and 150 means almost 400 farmer unions from different states. They have coordinated this protest and they have given a call for Delhi Chalo. Okay, so the 2 forums gave a call Delhi Chalo. So to remind the Prime Minister about the promises made earlier with respect to the farmers' welfare. Okay, so now what are the demands they have put forward? The main demand they have put forward is legal backing of MSP. You know what is MSP, right? MSP means we have minimum support price. This is nothing but a intervention, you can say government intervention, because in case of any distress sale, the farmers will be given a minimum support from the government, which we call as minimum support price. So if you have to go back to the origins of this MSP, we have this origins of MSP in 1967 when L.K. Jha committee has recommended that there should be a fair price that should be given to the farmers. Then after this, we started giving some minimum support price or minimum price at which the government buys the crops from the farmers. Then what happened? You know, in 1985, we have this Commission on Agriculture Costs and Prices, CACP, formed. So what is the job of the CACP with respect to MSP means? It will assess and it will determine what is the MSP that has to be paid. Means the rate of MSP will be determined by the CACP. Then who is going to approve? This is going to be approved by Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. This is CCEA. So Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, one of the Cabinet Committee headed by the Prime Minister, will finally approve the MSP. So you know, MSP is not given for all the crops. Okay, so it is not there for all. And you know, 22 crops we have plus 1 crop, that is sugarcane, where we are provided fair and remunerative price. Among these we have 14 kharif crops, 6 rabi crops and 2 commercial crops. These are the things which we have. Okay, that means as of now only for 23 crops there is support from the government in terms of prices, but the farmers are demanding, okay, the MSP should be given for all the crops. And second thing is, this MSP is just a policy decision. Okay, there is no market intervention as so far. Okay, so this is just a policy decision. They want this legal backing. Legal backing means a law should be brought so that they will not take back this MSP, or that it will not be changed as per the whims and fancies of the government. That is what legal backing is, the main demand of the protest behind, main demand behind this protests of the farmers. So another thing is, in the recent past, okay, in the recent past, government has formed a committee under Sanjay Agarwal, so to look into the issue of MSP, okay, but the farmers are alleging that there is no terms of reference of giving a legal backing to this MSP, and which have to be looked by this committee, Sanjay Agarwal's committee. So because of all this, this is a main thing which they're asking for, means legal backing, means a statutory backing has to be provided for MSP, that is minimum support price. This is the first issue, okay. Then we have some other issues also, we'll see what are those issues. Then you can see here, minimum support price, that is 12-point agenda, you can say 12 demands they have put forward. Second is, they wanted this implementation of Swaminathan committee's report. You know, MS Swaminathan, we consider him as father of green revolution in India. Because of him only we became a self-sufficient country in the 1960s and 70s, and you know, recently government of India also has awarded Bharat Ratna to this person. So you know, he has made a tremendous work, okay, with respect to farmers. So he gave so many recommendations and reports for the welfare of the farmers, at the same time for the sustainable growth of agriculture also. Under this, one of the main demand is, they're asking for implementation of Swaminathan commission on National Commission on Farmers report. So what is this committee reports talking about? Mainly it is aiming at different fields like sustainability, profitability, growth of rural credit, okay. So there should be provision for rural credit, and farmers distress also is taken care, okay. So farmers, why they're facing this distress and how to tackle this distress. So there is a separate report which was given by Swaminathan sir with respect to this farmers distress. So now they're asking for recommendations to be implemented from MS Swaminathan sir's report. Another demand is full debt waiver for farmers and laborers, agricultural laborers, you know, okay. So most of the times we'll heard about this full loan waivers, okay, that is promised as part of political parties' manifesto during elections. So you know, whether it is good or bad, but still this is the main demand they're asking for, okay, full debt waiver. And second thing is, they're asking for implementation of Land Acquisition and Rehabilitation Act we have in 2013, right? Here they're asking this implementation, but with a written consent for the farmers. You know, most of the times as part of this land acquisition, most of the farmers are losing their land, but here they're demanding that there should be written consent. In case if that is belonging to a farmland, then there should be written consent from the farmers before acquisition and paying it. There should be 4 times the collection rate should be paid to the farmers. This is what they're asking. This is a fourth demand they're asking. Okay, then we can see punishment for the perpetrators of this 2021 Lakhimpur Kheri killings. In this particular issue also, so many farmers have lost their lives in this incident. For them also, the perpetrators have to be punished. That is what another demand they have put forward. And India should withdraw from the World Trade Organization. Okay, so you know, World Trade Organization is a global trade body which is saying that there should not be any unfair trade. Okay, so you know, we have GATT, that is General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, which is established in 1948. But you know, after Marrakesh Treaty that was signed in 1995, we have this WTO, and you know, India is a member of WTO. So what is the issue then? Why farmers are asking India should withdraw from WTO is because, you know, under WTO in the recent times we are signing many more free trade agreements. What happens if India joins any free trade agreement? Like, we also have shown inclination to join RCEP, if you have remembered, but later due to dairy farmers protests and all, we have withdrawn the decision of joining RCEP. So what is a problem with these free trade agreements is because in case if you are agreeing to this free trade agreement terms, then from the other countries which are signatory to this free trade agreement, we will get the imports at a free cost, or you can say there won't be much difference from the domestic and the foreign market. So at that point of time, domestic market sellers will lose the value, or they will lose the what you can say the value for the product or the produce which they have produced. So for these reasons, farmers, they will feel, they thought that if these free trade agreements are implemented, then there will be tough competition. Okay, then will tough competition from the cheap imports which are there from the foreign countries. That is why they're asking that India, if it is withdrawn, all. Okay, so but if you are part of WTO or World Trade Organization, then you have to adhere to these free trade terms and conditions. That is why farmers are asking to withdraw from World Trade Organization. That is another demand. Then they are also asking for pension. Okay, so pension should be paid for farmers and agriculture laborers also. That is one another demand, which is a general thing and it has to be there. Okay, right? And we have compensation also should be given who died during the last protest. Okay, so if you have remembered during 2 years back, okay, so we have this 3 laws which were brought for the farmers. Okay, so those farmers bills were again like you can say those are for against those bills only. All these farmers have revolted, or you can say they have launched their protests against these 3 bills. Because of this, you know, Supreme Court initially halted the implementation of bills. You know, it was brought through ordinance, and almost only for 220 days these laws were in action, you can say, or these laws were in force. Later Supreme Court has given a stay on the implementation of these laws, and you know, later government itself has repealed. Another interesting note you have to remember is Parliament doesn't only have the power to create a law or to amend a law, but Parliament also have a power to repeal a law, the same law. That means if a law is brought, you can know in this case 3 laws were brought for the farmers' welfare from the side of the government. But you know, due to farmers' protest, all these 3 laws were repealed by the same Parliament. Okay, here Parliament means Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and the President. So then with respect to this Electricity Amendment Bill 2020, okay, so for them, again, another thing is compensation. At the same time, 1 job has to be given for 1 family member for those who died as part of those protests. And then another demand is Electricity Amendment Bill 2020 should be scrapped. Okay, it should be scrapped. That is what they have asked. That means they're thinking that this bill is not going to benefit them in getting any free electricity. So they don't think this is going to be beneficial. That is why they're asking for removal of this bill also. Then 200 days employment should be given under MG Narega. You know, this is implemented by Ministry of Rural Development, MORD, right? So, you know, this is a scheme that is mainly providing right to work as a statutory right, not as a fundamental right. Do remember this. So, and also they're asking for a daily wage of 700 rupees to be given. And you know, out of this scheme, almost 1/3 beneficiaries are women itself. Okay, so they're asking that instead of 100, we are giving at least 100 days of right to work. In case if you're not able to provide 100 days work, you are entitled to compensation. Okay, so you have to be paid that whatever the gap is there, that has to be compensated. So they're asking that instead of 100 days, we want 200 days in case of odd seasons. Then strict penalties and fines on companies producing fake seeds. You know, because of fake seeds, farmers will lose to entire crop, or whatever the produce is that they may lose their produce. So there will be lot of hard work, money, effort will be put by the farmers. That is why they're asking that in case of any fake pesticides, fertilizers, seeds and all, there should be strict penalties and fines on the persons who are responsible for them. And you know, National Commission for Spices, this also should be formed in a similar way as there is a chili board and turmeric board. Same way it should also be there for spices. This is another demand. And you know, Kerala is very famous for spices, and you know, Europeans came to India just because for the spices. You know, at that point of time they used to call it as Yavanapia. Okay, and you know, ensure rights of indigenous peoples over water, forests and land. You know, indigenous people means tribal people. Okay, so who are attached with agriculture, they should not lose their rights over water, even forests and land. This is what they're also asking. So these are all the 12 demands for what the farmers are protesting. Then now we will see what are the 3 farm laws repealed. Okay, so if you have remembered, in 2020 these laws were brought by the union government. They said these are aiming at farmers' welfare, but these were the laws against which the farmers launched their protest also. So you know, Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act was brought in 2020. This is aimed at allowing trade in agriculture produce outside existing APMCs. Okay, so the main thing is here agriculture produce marketing committees. If you have remembered, marketing of agriculture produce is under state subject. Okay, that means only states are entitled to make laws. That means the state if the state have made a law, that is enforceable only within the territory. So if they get a better price outside the state, then they are not eligible also to do this. That is why they're asking that this law should be repealed, and they're asking the center should bring a particular law. And you know, in the recent times in 2016, Government of India brought this ENAM also, Electronic National Agriculture Market, to facilitate this national trade in agriculture produce. So that is why they're asking to repeal this particular act. Then if you see, Farmers Empowerment Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act was brought in 2020. If you see, it seeks to provide a framework for contract farming. This is a main another law against which the farmers have launched the protest, because they thought that this concept of contract farming will result in industrialization or your corporatization of agriculture produce. So this is giving a leeway for the corporates to enter into the agriculture market, and they will be using this market or the produce for their own benefits. This is not going to benefit the farmers. That is why they have protested against this bill also. And here you have third bill, that is Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020. So this is mainly aimed at removing essential commodities such as cereals, pulses, oil seeds, edible oils and onion, potato from the list of essential commodities. If it is placed under essential commodities, when there is a shortage, you cannot hide the particular produce. Okay, so this is what the issue with Essential Commodities Act in 2020. Then how has the government responded thus so far? Okay, so if you have to see here, what is the response of the government? Okay, so since 2-3 days onwards, when the farmers said that we wanted to protest, many Union Agriculture Minister and Union Commerce Minister, they have tried to negotiate with the farmers and they tried to bring this protest to an end, okay, without start also. But there is no consensus that was developed between the ministry on one side or the government on one side and the farmers on another side. That is why, if you see, states like Punjab also, they have tried to negotiate and they wanted to end this protest before they start. Okay, but what happened is this could not come to an end. That is why even today, the farmers started protesting. And if you have seen, almost in Delhi, they have taken 1 kilometer distance have to be covered only in 1 hour. So this is the highest time they're taking now to reach. Okay, so and they have completed this protest by taking 6 months ration also. And they have taken even diesel also along with them. That means they are on a long haul for protest. Okay, so these are the things which we have to remember. And even as the farmers and ministers are also trying to settle, government started sealing the borders of Punjab. So the Delhi is now witnessing the protest, and you can see internet is banned, and in some states of Punjab, Haryana and Delhi also there is 144 imposed, section 144. So under section 144 of CRPC, what happens is a magistrate is empowered to issue the orders that maximum 4 persons, okay, only are allowed to enter onto the streets together, okay, as a group. So not more than 4 members. If more than 4 members enter as a group, then it is a violation of this orders, and then you can be penalized and a fine can also be imposed. So this is what you have to remember. Then we don't have a right to protest means, yes, right to protest is there implicitly under Article 19, which is giving us fundamental freedom of speech and expression. So this is already there under Article 19 of Indian Constitution. So this is implicitly there, but there should be peaceful protest. That is what raised by the farmers also. And you have to know what is the difference between section 144 and curfew. So curfew is also one thing which will come across in news. So here there will be a complete ban. So no person is allowed to come out into areas where there is curfew. But in section 144, maximum limit is only 4. This is what you have to understand the difference. Then this is yesterday's practice question. Which of the following have shrunk immensely, dried upon in the recent past due to human activity? Among the 3 seas, Aral Sea, Black Sea and Lake Baikal, select the correct answer. Here the answer for this is Aral Sea. Yesterday we have discussed about the sea that is lost in last 50 years. No, this is Aral Sea. Only one is the answer. This was asked already in UPSC prelims. So if you see the practice question, Agriculture Produce Market Committee, APMC, is established by, who will establish? Whether it is state government, NABARD, Ministry of Home Affairs and central government, choose the correct option from among the given statements. Now, practice question for mains. Discuss various methods used by the farmers' organizations to influence policy makers in India. How effective are these methods? Okay, so this is a practice question given for mains. As we have come to end of the video, today we have discussed about why farmers have went for second version of protest 2.0, what are the demands they have put forward before the union government, and what is the reaction from the union government. And we have seen the difference between section 144 and curfew, and we also have seen 3 repealed agriculture laws previously repealed by the government in 2020, and also we have seen practice question for prelims and mains. You found this video useful as part of your preparation. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.